A New True Book, Volcanoes, by Helen J. Challand. What is a volcano? A volcano is the name for two things. It can be the opening in the ground that shoots out hot rocks, gases, steam, or ashes. A volcano is also the name given to the hill or mountain formed by these materials. Inside the earth, the melted rock is called magma. After the melted rock comes out, it is lava. Lava is red or white mixture. It is very hot. It flows like thick syrup. A volcano often has a crater or a depression in the center of it or along the sides. This crater may fill up with water and become a lake when the lava stops flowing. Right up there is the crater. Different kinds of volcanoes. Cinder cone volcanoes blow out burning cinders, ash, and steam. This material shoots out from a single tube. A cinder cone volcano is often violent and explosive. Sunset Crater in Arizona, Paricutin in Mexico, and Krakatoa are cinder cone volcanoes. Shield volcanoes form in or along the shores of oceans. They spew out layer after layer of lava from cracks in the Earth's surface. Shield volcanoes are not too explosive. The Hawaiian Islands were made by shield volcanoes. They are also found in Iceland. Composite or stratovolcano are formed by hot broken rock ash and lava. These volcanoes are taller and more active than shield volcanoes. They are less explosive than cinder cone volcanoes. Mount Fuji in Japan, Mount Rainier in Washington, Mount Hood in Oregon, and Mount Shasta in California are composite volcanoes. What causes a volcano? Scientists are not sure why magma blows up and out of the earth. They believe that it starts to form around 60 miles down in the ground. The temperature is so high here that rocks will melt. This forms magma. Solid rocks in the Earth's crust hold magma down. Cracks form in the thin areas of the crust. As the pressure builds up, the magma is forced through these cracks and a volcano is born. Where are the volcanoes? Most volcanoes are found along two major chains in the world. By the way, most earthquakes also happen in these same areas. The Ring of Fire is the chain around the Pacific Ocean. There are over 300 active volcanoes in this chain. And here is, looks like that's what that is. The second chain of volcanoes forms a line along the Azores, Canary Islands, and then east. This is the Pacific Ring of Fire. Through Europe and Asia, there are a few volcanoes in East Central Africa. Scientists say that Australia never has had and never will have a volcano. Some really big ones. Mount Vesuvius was born maybe 10,000 years ago. It is found in the Bay of Naples in southern Italy. For hundreds of years, people thought it was a dead volcano. They built towns nearby. Then in AD 79, Mount Vesuvius blew up. The cities of Pompeii and Herculaneum were buried. The ruins of these towns can still be seen. Mount Vesuvius is still active. It has been resting now since 1944, but it will blow again. Solid rocks in the Earth's crust hold magma down. Cracks form in the thin area of the crust as the pressure builds up. The magma is forced through these cracks, and a volcano is born. I think we just read that. How interesting. The volcanoes that formed the Hawaiian Islands are the tallest in the world. They start at the bottom of the ocean, which is around 16,000 feet deep at that spot. The islands are now almost 14,000 feet above sea level. And the two numbers together. Add the two numbers together and you will know how tall they are. Another sleeping giant woke up in 1883 when Mount Krakatoa, a cinder cone volcano in Indonesia, blew its top. The noise of the explosion was heard 3,000 miles away. The ashes and the dust blew so high the wind currents carried them around the whole earth. This blocked some of the sun's rays, and the earth's temperature dropped more than 10 degrees. The tidal waves caused by this volcano killed over 30,000 people in Sumatra and Java. Black Sunday. On Sunday, May 18th, 1980, Mount St. Helens let the world know it was still active. Its last big eruption was in 1831, but it was always restless. During this last explosion, the magma stayed inside the mountain, but ash and steam escaped. The ice on Mount St. Helens melted. Billions of gallons of water turned the ash into mudslides that flooded the valleys. Ash that stayed in the air from the blast was carried around the world in 17 days. That morning it was as dark as night in that area. Spirit Lake on the side of the volcano rose hundreds of feet. Temperatures in some rivers heated up over 600 degrees. This killed all living things in the rivers. Thousands of acres of trees were knocked over like matchsticks. Crops were smothered by ash. Over 60 people died. Thousands of deer, elk, mountain lions, black bears, and goats died too. The volcanoes that formed the Hawaiian Islands, we are over to here. Looks like this book has some double pages. A few months after the eruption, life returned. Asters, ferns, and fireweed are growing in the barren ash. New ponds and lakes are forming. Wild animals are moving back in. Some old faithful. Sometimes magma comes out of many cracks or holes in the ground. It does not form into a single hill or mountain. Instead, it spreads out over large areas called lava fields. In an active lava field, the hot magma in the earth causes geysers and hot springs to form. Crater Lake. Mount Mazama in Oregon exploded about 7,000 years ago. It left a huge hole or basin in the top of the mountain, 6,000 feet above sea level. It filled up with water and is now 2,000 feet deep, the deepest lake in the United States. Wow. Then, 1,000 years ago, a small volcano cone formed in Crater Lake. It was named Wizard Island. That's Wizard Island. House of Everlasting Fire. Mauna Loa is a large volcano in Hawaii. Kalauea is a smaller one on the side of Mauna Loa. Thin lava boils and bubbles all the time in its craters. It erupted suddenly in 1982. Valley of 10,000 Smokes. This scenic wonder is in Alaska. In 1912, two volcanoes blew out at the same time. Ash filled the sky. For 3 days, it was as dark as night. The acid rain from the ash burned people not only in Alaska, but in western parts of Canada. The ground is still sending out hot gases and steam in thousands of places. That is how the area got its name. Dead volcanoes. A volcano grows old and dies when the hot magma inside settles down. The cracks and openings seal over as the pressure inside the earth is reduced. Wind, rain, and other weather conditions wear down the hill or mountain. The Cascade Range is a chain of old volcanoes formed millions of years ago. The lava tubes in Craters of the Moon National Monument are left over from ancient volcano ash activity, as are the Palisades along the Hudson River. Cones of dead volcanoes are found in Sunset Crater in Arizona and in Lava Beds National Monument in California. Some places in Arkansas might have been formed by volcanoes millions of years ago. We know that hot springs are the result of volcano activity. We also know that volcanoes leave huge deposits of mercury and diamonds. Hot springs, mercury, and diamonds are found in Arkansas. Studying volcanoes. Scientists learn about volcanoes by testing them. A seismograph is a device that records earthquakes. As the hot magma pushes rocks around under the ground, the earth begins to shake. At first, the shocks are little ones, but when a volcano is getting ready to break through, the quakes get stronger and are closer together. This is a warning that something will happen soon. A tilt meter measures the size of a volcano. A volcano will swell before it erupts. This swelling cannot be seen with the naked eye. Tilt meters are placed around the sides and near the top of a volcano. They tilt such as a carpenter's level would. As the shape of the slope changes, that means that magma is getting close to breaking through the surface. Scientists also use drills to study the inside of a volcano. They check the change in temperature. They study the makeup of the magma. They examine the materials in the trapped gases. All this information tells scientists if a volcano is dead, alive, or just resting. Volcanoes aren't all bad. Millions of years ago, volcanoes helped to form the surface of our Earth. They blew carbon dioxide and water vapor into the air. This changed the atmosphere. Clouds formed, rain fell, oceans, seas, and lakes were formed. The first living things started in these ancient waters. Over time, lava broke down into fertile soil. As minerals were added, higher plants and animals and humans followed. Volcanoes send out tons of minerals. Metals such as tin, lead, zinc, and mercury are removed from volcanic rocks. Diamonds and a black gassy rock called obsidian is formed. Sulfur is brought out by volcanoes and then mined for use. Crushed lava makes good bedrock for highways and runways. Ocean volcanoes make new islands. This gives plants, animals, and people more space. In Iceland, the water from hot springs is used to heat buildings. Scientists know how to convert the heat from volcanoes into electricity. So you can see good things can come from volcanoes. The end.